Hello everyone, I hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to our applied mechanics lesson. Today we are still dealing with how to solve for two unknown forces in a system of coplanar concurrent forces. So previously you might recognize what's on screen if you've seen the previous video, but if not, I would highly recommend that you catch up with it for context. But previously, we went into the grammatic or baseline method of how to deal or how to resolve or how to solve for two unknown forces that are acting concurrently. Today, I want us to tackle the same example but using method number 2, and that will be using simultaneous equations. It just depends how you like to call it. Depends how bougie you're trying to be, you know what I'm saying? So we had a force F over here, we had a force R, and then we had a 2 kilonewton something happening here. And we already know from the question that we did, from the one that we already calculated, we already know that both F and R are pulling away. So we're just going to assume the directions right off the bat from this point, just to see how we go about calculating it. Then you might remember the included angles. We had 45 on there, we had 30 on there. This will help us come up with the horizontal ones. 45 gives you 45. Your 30 gives you a 60. Okay. This just helps with, coming up with a system that works. Okay. Bear with me, right? Because on here, I essentially want us to use the angle from the immediate horizontal. I feel like it makes life a bit easier for us on there. So from here, you start off with your diagram. We've already done that. Then you essentially come up with your vertical and horizontal components and you assume their direction. Unlike the previous one where you are just considering your perpendicular components, on here we are essentially coming up with both. So since both of our forces are pulling away, our components will be pulling away too. Okay. Then since that is opposite our 60, so that will be our sine of 60, our cos 60. Why? Cos of 60. Then we come to this side, opposite, adjacent, so this would be F cos of 45. That would be F sine of 45. Okay. Right, then next step, once you have your components, you are going to equate the sum of the vertical forces to 0, then you solve for that, and then you're going to equate the sum of the horizontal forces to 0, and then you solve for that. So we can start with the sum of the vertical forces, and we'll assume that upwards is positive. It's an assumption, no one is wrong. Then equate it to 0. Then we're going to say F sine of 45 plus R sine of 60 minus 2 gives us 0. Did we include everything? I think we did. Okay. Then essentially that will give us equation number 1, where okay, that is equation number 1. Then we're going to take the sum of the horizontal forces, and we will assume that forces going to the right are positive. Okay, so that already gives us your R cos of 60 minus F cos of 45 as zeros. Then that is our second equation on there. Then you essentially want to sum up equation 1 and 2, right? So f sine 45 plus r sine 60 plus r cos 60 minus f cos of 45 is equals to 2. Okay, then from that point you can simplify it as far as you can, as far as you possibly can. So 0.707f plus sine 60 0.866r plus its cos of 60 0.5r minus cos of 45 0.707f all equals to 2. Then you can add the similar ones. I get that 0.707 minus 0.707, that's your f, plus 0.866 plus 0.5 r. This gives me a 0, so 0.866 plus 0.5 gives me 1.366 r is equals to 2. Divide by 1.366, divide by 1.366. Then I get r as 1.464 kilonewtons, and since it's positive, it says whatever direction we assumed is correct. Okay, so we assume that it's pulling, so it's still pulling. Okay, then now we can sub this value of r into equation 1 or 2, whichever one you prefer. Okay, so equation 1 said f sine 45 plus r sine 60 was equals to 2. Okay, I know my handwriting is getting a bit dodgy. I think this battery is dying. F sine 45 plus 1.464 sine 60 is equals to 2. Then we can 1.464 sine 60. Okay, so we already know this whole thing gives us 1.268 sine 45 on here, so 0.707f. Okay, then 0.707f is equals to 2 minus 1.268. And I get 1.035, and since it's positive, it means it's also pulling. Okay, I just wanted us to compare and see if by any chance we get the same answers. Okay, so remember this is where today's method started. So from the graphical method that we adopted previously, by taking FF as the baseline, we got R as 1.464. That's exactly what we got on here. And using RR as our baseline, we got 1.035, which is exactly what we got here. So we can confirm by looking at this that whichever method works best for you, potato, potato. But if for some reason something is still a little bit unclear, I'll be more than happy to assist. You can just leave your question in the comment section or email me or however else you get a hold of me. Until next time, adios.